Hey, what's up, Facebook? It's Louis. Coming a little later than usual. It's about 6 o'clock over here in Arizona. Man, you ever have one of those days where you haven't showered all day? So I've been up since 5, just going, working out, started my day, and the day just kind of, things just started happening that needed my attention. So pardon me, I'm still in my 5 a.m. workout clothes. Haven't showered yet, but I wanted to make sure I got to you guys today and gave you some great stuff that you could be implementing to boost your sales. So before I get started, if you're not already signed up, make sure to go to movingseminar.com and get your tickets for Moving Sales Academy. All the information's there. I won't get into it, but I want to talk to you today about email automation, right? How to set up emails to be your, behind the scenes 24/7 salesperson, right? Because, thinking about it today, I was on the go all day, right? Nonstop, one thing to the next thing to the next thing. And, I didn't have time to, sit and send emails out, right? About, for customers to, sell products or to, come to my seminar. But luckily, I have email automation set up. I have ways of, setting that stuff up in advance to automatically go out, right? Somebody goes to my site, they, sign up for the ebook, right? They want to sign up for 10 rules of a profitable moving company. They put their information in. All those emails that go out after are all automated. But I did all this at my moving company as well, right? So where, every time you receive a new lead or a new request for a quote, you have emails that are going out to them automatically, right? It's kind of amazing that there's not that many people taking advantage of this technology that's available out there, and it's just such an easy tool to help boost your sales, right, and boost your conversions. And I teach this at Moving Sales Academy, at the online course, and also at the live seminar. And it's amazing how many people aren't already doing it, right? How many people, aren't, by the way, if you're doing email automation, if you're not doing email automation, let me know down in the comments. Let me know who's here, who's listening. But when we teach this to people and then they come back or they, send me an email like, wow, Louis, I implemented that email automation process that you taught us and it's just been, killing it. I want to make sure I share that with you because it's such a valuable tool. And it's one of those things that, once you set it up once, right, it's running in the background, right? So imagine you just had a little, a little person that like kind of just sat there, right? And just like, like a little elf or something that just kind of sat with just emailing people 24/7. Well, you could set that up very easily to where, the minute you get a new lead that comes in, yes, you might have an automated response. Maybe it comes from your CRM, but I'm talking about setting up a sequence, right? And what we teach, one of the things we teach with email automation at Moving Sales Academy is the value building sequence, all right? And what that is basically you want to be able to build value, right? You don't want to come across as salesy, right? You want to be able to provide value. If you've ever, opted in for one of my training videos or, my ebook, right? You'll get a ton of value from me before I ever even tell you about anything that I have, any programs that I have or anything like that, right? You'll just get a ton of value up front. Well, you want to do the same thing with your moving business. We did the same thing at Neighbors, and that's to provide that value. So, an easy way to look at it is to say, you know what, the customer is in the process of getting an estimate right now, right? The minute you get the lead, right, they either go to a lead provider and that lead comes to you, right? Or they go to your website, they request a quote on your website and you get that lead, right? Or the phone call comes in, you receive the phone call, you enter that information into your CRM. Now, think about that customer for a minute. They are in the process of getting quotes, right? They're in the process of finding out which moving company they want to go with so they can make a decision to be able to pick someone which you want to be you, right? So think about what information would be really helpful for them at that point, right? Like things like, packing tips, you know, some advice on getting quotes, right? On how to actually shop for movers, you know, moving checklists, right? There's a lot of things that would be very, very valuable that if you set up a sequence to once you get a lead that comes in, right? Lead comes in and automatically, doesn't matter. You don't have to remember to send the email. You don't have to count on your salesperson to send the email. You set all this up in advance, right? But now they get an email. The minute the lead comes in, they get a response. The next day they get another email, but this email is not, again, like, hey, look at me, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best. This email is like, here's some value for you, right? Here's some amazing stuff for you, regardless if you choose to go with my company or not. And then at the bottom, there's some information about your company, all right? The idea is that you're providing value. With everybody that's trying to just sell them on their service, this will go a long way and it'll be very appreciated. And guess what? It's free, right? Like once you set it up that first time, this is just running automatically, right? I mean, how nice would that be to just have that happening, right? And, you know, you may know about this. You may say, yeah, no, I know I could sign up for, you know, an email autoresponder service and stuff like that. But, you know, it's so worth taking the time to set something like this up, right? And so I just want to kind of, you know, talk to you about like how to do that, right? If you want to know how to do it like in depth and know my templates and exactly what to say and all that, make sure you come to Moving Sales Academy live. Just go to movingseminar.com. But I want to give you some tips on how to set this up now, right? So that, you know, if you're not able to make it, you're still able to kind of put this together. And, you know, remember the key word here is value, right? This portion of email automation that we're talking about right now is called value building sequence, right? So what you're doing is you're just building value for that customer, right? And don't worry if they don't move with you. Don't worry, hey, I'm giving them my moving checklist or I'm giving them these packing tips and they're gonna go move with somebody else. You know what? So what, right? So what? You know, you're putting good stuff out there. You're helping the community. You're helping the public with good, you know, information that's helping them along the way. And you know what happens when you put good stuff out there that helps people? They end up, you know, wanting to do business with you if what you have to offer is good. And if your service is good and your sales team's doing their sales follow-up, that email automation, that value building sequence that they're going to get in that first initial 7 days is huge, huge. Okay. You know, there's also, you know, things we teach like the re-engagement campaign on how to get people back into the fold. And, you know, there's, you know, simple stuff you could do with a newsletter and things like that as well. But let's just talk about this re-engagement, this value building sequence. All right. So here's what you do. Just get out a sheet of paper. I know I say that a lot, but we don't have to overcomplicate things, right? We just need to make things very simple. And for me, I like to, you see back there at my desk, I got a pad on the desk, right? That's for me, like before I open the computer, if I have things to think through, I'm doing it on pen. Yes, I might have to transfer to the computer later. But once you open up the computer, once you have, you know, all these different browsers going on, there's this unlimited potential for distraction, right? We don't want that. So, you know, get out a piece of paper and just write down 5 topics that, you know, would be very beneficial to every customer that is, you know, coming into your pipeline, if you will, right? Remember, lead comes in. They get that initial email right away, right? That initial email, by the way, needs to have a direct call to action, all right? Don't send out your first email that comes automatically maybe from your CRM that says, hey, we're the best moving company. We've been in business this long. This is why we're the best. We're the best. We're the best, right? Send an email with a call to action telling them that, you know, whatever your process is, right? Maybe your estimate is being worked on, or, you know, you're going to have a moving consultant call them shortly, but please call us now, right? You want to tell them to call you now because, you know, you might not get to them right away. Right? And if they have that call to action to call you, or maybe you want to get them to fill out an inventory form or whatever the case may be, have that call to action in that first initial email. All right. in Moving Sales Academy, I actually teach you about, what videos to have there, the script on what to say in those videos. I mean, we go super in depth, but I want to give you, kind of the outline of how you could just put this together right away, right? Simply. So get a list of 5 things, right? And I'll give you some examples. Like, if you have a moving checklist, right? Something that, for example, like, here's all the things you do 6 weeks out before your move. Here's 5 weeks out before your move, 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out, right? A checklist that's very, very helpful for anyone that has a move coming up. If you're the one that supplies that to them, they're going to be very, grateful for that, right? And yes, they might not move with you. That's okay. What did you give away? You gave away a checklist. So what, right? But it's going to boost your opportunities and your chances to book that customer. So, something like that. Or an article about how to compare moving quotes, right? Or an article about how to save money on the day of the move from, by, taking care of unplugging things and getting things ready. Whatever would be of value to them, right? I mean, we used to send one that said, I think it was 10 tips for moving with pets, right? Something like that. You think about all the people that, have pets, right? And you're just giving them tips for that. Remember, when we think about these and when you're making your 5, start with the headline, right? Think about essentially the subject line of that email, right? And then within that email, you could fill it out. But all I want you to do right now is just think about 5, subject lines, if you will, 5, topics that you'll be able to provide that value. All right. This is huge. It might seem simple. And then what you do is, you set this up either in your CRM or, you could use a service like MailChimp, right? They could do this and you could set up a free account to set this up, right? Integrate that with your CRM and get those going out. But it's so important that, your customers have, you're able to leverage your, the technology that you have to be that like behind the scenes salesperson for you, right? Because if you have that person behind the scenes, whatever you're doing throughout the day, whether you're, like I've been going all day long, right? I'm about to have some dinner and then finally take a shower for the day. And, there's emails being sent, right? Constantly. My moving company, I didn't have to worry that, if a salesperson wasn't sending an email, which they were, but if they weren't, there was also these value building sequences going out, right? We also had re-engagement campaigns going out, right? So just take some time, put that together, and remember, as you're writing out these emails, and these emails could even be, links to videos that you have. They could be links to blog posts that you have, right? But writing these emails, here's what I want you to remember. You only have to write them once, okay? You only have to write that once. So imagine right now if you could write 5 emails. Think about all the emails that you write during a day, right? If you could go write 5 strong emails, okay? Don't worry about making them perfect. You could always correct them and optimize them later. That's the cool part about email optimization. You start looking at your open rates, your click rates. You're like, oh, let me change the subject line. I need to change something here. They're not clicking. But get it started, right? Because regardless of the topics that you pick and how well you write them, it's still an email in their inbox that's not there now, right? And you only have to write it once. So you're writing 5 emails. You're going to set them up in your, MailChimp or whatever you use or your CRM, and they go out automatically, right? Think about all the leads you get, right? And we're just talking about starting with 5, right? We're not even talking about like the whole lifeline of that customer, right? From the time they come into their move date and then getting them back into the mix later on too. Right now, we're just talking about that first 5, right? Because when someone contacts you, they're ready to move, right? Like it's not, yes, you'll have the people that at some point, they'll contact you and say, I don't know my move date. It's going to be 6 weeks out. It's going to be 2 months out. But for the most part, you're looking, 2 weeks on average for local moves, 6 weeks on average for long distance moves. Like they are ready to make a decision, or they want to be reaching out to you. So if you're not able to book that, imagine those emails going out. All right. I wanted to share this with you today, especially today, because, like me personally, I've been going all day, and I'm committed to get on here and do lives with you guys, and give you this information. I just want to make sure that, if you're out busy all day, right, and you don't have the opportunity to send the emails to your customers, and you don't have the opportunity to oversee your salespeople and make sure that they're doing it, that you've got to just set up and automate, and you can rest assured, like, all right, at least I know every lead's getting these specific emails that are strong, they're creating value, and they're driving more business. All right. So if you want to learn how to do this like in depth, right, with all my scripts and my templates and everything like that, go to movingseminar.com. Check out Moving Sales Academy Live. It's coming up in, like 2 weeks now, a little over 2 weeks. So we are pretty close to sold out. We were going over the numbers today. That's kind of why didn't really have a chance to jump in a shower. I was, at the hotel arranging space and everything like that. But we do have some tickets left. Go to movingseminar.com. Set up your email automation. I'm telling you, everybody that we've helped set this up does not regret it. They're, ecstatic at the results that they see from being able to see that kind of bring in the business automatically. All right. So make it a great night. Go out there every single day, profit in your business, thrive in your life. Talk to you guys later.